Welcome to the show today. Today we're going to be talking about how to build a personal brand with the avatar. We have with us our lovely guest, Miss Kimberly Austin. She's the creator of the Goal Digger Girl.
Yes.
She has two PhDs. One is in natural health, and the other is holistic nutrition. And she also is a best-selling author. Miss Kimberly Olsen, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having
Can I call
me.
you
I'm
Dr.
honored.
Olsen? Is that okay?
What, Dr. Olson? People just usually say, "Hey, gold digger girl," but that's cool. I like what you're saying.
Because going through a PhD program is really hard, and so you know, and
It
having
was.
two of them is just like you have to respect the doctor.
Thank you. Yeah, it was hard. I won't do that
So
anymore.
I'm pretty sure. So you wrote all these great books. You've done so much great things. Just on TED Talk X, and you did so many important things. What really got you on the pathway to the Gold Digger Girl?
Yeah, for sure. So I got into entrepreneurship, dabbled in it for since 2011, but didn't have a lot of success. So I had to go back to the corporate world, and I did pretty well. I was making six figures. And when I had my second baby, 8.5 months before, I was 8.5 months pregnant. I was let go from that six-figure salary without notice. They downsized the territory. And it was the first time in my life that I was actually scared, like, how are we going to pay the mortgage? I had two new babies. They were both in diapers. And we did what everyone else does. We cashed in, 401k, put everything on credit cards. I was hustling, I strapped that baby on me and I was doing boot camps in my backyard. Like, I was hustling, but it was not enough to make ends meet. So I had to take this crappy job locally, and there was a bully there. And I missed all the things with my little kids. I missed first steps and doctor's appointments and all the things that the mom should be there for. So I really struggled. I actually having a family history of it, but alcohol abuse became, kind of my coping mechanism. It was just how I got through the day because I just was not living the dream. You know what I mean? I grew up in poverty, and I was like, this is supposed to be different, for my family. So a friend reached out to me about network marketing, direct sales, and I was very resistant. And I decided, and this is why this topic is so important. I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this the right way, right? Like, I'm not spamming anybody. I'm not cold messaging. I'm not going to be that girl. I'm going to do this different. So in the spring of 2017, I got into social media for the first time ever. I did not have an Instagram account. I didn't have a Facebook following. I had 250 friends and I never posted, but I was hungry. I was driven. I was like, I'm going to do this. So I worked with a therapist to overcome the alcohol issues, and I'm celebrating almost 4 years of sobriety. And that was really important because, to be an entrepreneur, man, it's like the school of self-development. You cannot crush it unless you think you're awesome. So I had to work on my mindset, and who I was. And then I realized, okay, like, I got that there. Now let's go find some people. So once I got through my warm market and I had no one else to talk to, I turned to social media, started going live. And my background's health and wellness, not business. So I'd sit in my car and I'm like, hey, want some lemon water? It's going to make you feel awesome. Let me tell you why. So I would just go live. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was consistent. I kept showing up. I got in coaching programs. I'm like, you people who are crushing it, you tell me what to do. And I just did it and I implemented. And I was working all the time, side hustle, my, full-time job. And it took me some time, but after 6 months, after 90 days on social media, I launched the Gold Digger Girl. I monetized my brand. The next 90 days, we hit six figures. Went on to launch my podcast, went on to write the books, went on to public speak. I've hit six figures consistently in network marketing, and we've passed $2 million in revenue for the Gold Digger brand. And obviously, I quit my job 3 years ago. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because most people mess it up and they don't know how to use social media the right way. And we can use it for good. We can use it for good. We can use it to change the world. This is why your podcast is so important. Getting people's earbuds, right? We can show them a video. We can show people that there's a better way. We can inspire them to do that. And I'm literally obsessed with this and could talk about this all day long.
That's so
Just saying.
awesome. That is so awesome. That is very true. A platform is what you make of it. And that's
Yes.
definitely for sure. Um, but what is the importance of branding on your business? So what is
Mhm.
that? What is the importance of doing those things for your
Yeah,
business?
for sure. Well, I think when you think about social media, if you are connecting with someone you don't know and you want to take that cold lead and turn them into a warm prospect and eventually a hot sale, that's going to be a process for people. They need to get to know you. So how do we do that? Well, we build up the know, like, and trust factor. Some of the experts in my space say that it takes 30 days of someone seeing your content, your selfies on Instagram, your TikToks, whatever it is. They need to see you for 30 days to feel like you're their friend. And you know, Brandy, I'm sure you've met people in person where you hug them and it's like you've known them your whole life because you built a relationship online through social. That's what we're going for. I mean, we want them to feel like we are legit friends and it's genuine. So if there are 2 billion people on Facebook, you know, a billion people on Instagram, all the platforms, why you? Why do they want to do business with you? It's because they know you, they like you, they trust you. And the only way you're going to accomplish that is through your personal brand.
That is so true. That is very true. Now, I have never heard the concept of an avatar in the branding of building. So, what is an avatar, and how do you make one?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I grew up playing video games and stuff like that. So, you know how you pick your person? That's your avatar.
Yeah.
So, when you think of your avatar, I want you to think about whenever you sell something, whether it's you're in a coaching business, you sell teeth whitening toothpaste, you think this is for everyone, right? This could help everyone. I want to save the children and I want to save the baby boomers. But if we're speaking to everyone, we're speaking to no one. So, this is what your goal is every time you post. Every time you go live, I want you to look in that camera. I want you to look on your phone and I want you to ask yourself, I need to be talking to the person that's on the other side of this phone. So what would I say to them, right? So the avatar is where you, in your mind, you get really clear on who that person is. A lot of times it's yourself when you first got started with whatever it is that you're selling. So if you're selling a weight loss product, and you've lost all that weight and it's 3 years later and you're feeling good and you're doing CrossFit and running marathons, well, you're past all of that, right? You need to go back to 3 years ago when you were feeling not so fit. You're sitting on the couch eating pizzas and donuts because you didn't have any energy to get up, couldn't play with your kids, and a bathing suit, forget it, right? Go back to that. And that's often your avatar if you're like, okay, who is it? And the avatar is, don't think just demographics and age. I want psychographics. I want to know what keeps her up late at night. What are her hopes, her dreams? What are her wishes? What does she struggle with? And then what you do is you talk to her in your messaging. So it's not, I am so awesome, hashtag blessed. Look at me, yay, glamour shots. No, no, no. It's, hey girl, how many of you I woke up today and I had my lashes on that I left on from yesterday, right? How many mamas out there have slept in their makeup? So it's not me and I'm so great. I want to talk about myself. I want to flip it and say, hey, can you relate to me? Does this make sense? Are you with me? So your avatar is the person you're talking to. Eventually you want to market to that person. Eventually you want to work with that person in some capacity. But if you're not clear on who that is, how do you know what to say? Right? Like, how do you know what the messaging looks like? The interaction on Facebook Lives, like you got to have that for sure.
That is so true. That's so true. I'm learning so much about these avatars, even though I love playing video games when I was a kid. But definitely in everything, there are pros and cons. What are the pros and cons of using the avatar?
Absolutely. The hardest part is the FOMO, and you're going to wonder, am I missing out on all these other people, right? Or what do I do if someone else comes along that's not my avatar? So, my brand is we work with female entrepreneurs, mostly moms, but I call them gold digger dudes. We got some gold digger dudes. I'm sitting there talking about lashes and makeup and all the things, and I got the gold digger dudes in the comments like, yeah, like they are want to be a part of it. There's this awesome book called Magnetic Sponsoring, and in the book he talks about the alpha dog in the room. When you go to a party, you have a meeting with a staff meeting. What do? You look around the room for the alpha dog. Who's in charge? Who knows what's going on, right? Well, people that are not your avatar will be drawn to you because you're the alpha dog. You have posture, you have confidence, you show up online with a purpose. This is where we get really intentional about our content that we're creating and that we're sharing because we're so focused on that person. It's very clear what I do. If you go to my profile, you know what I'm all about, right? You're not scrolling like confused. Who is this chick? So the non-avatar people, the gold digger dudes, the millennials, all the people who are not my avatar, they're coming anyway, right? They're coming anyway because I am so focused, I'm so clear that they want to grab onto my coattails and learn from me. So I would say that would be the pro. The con is the FOMO, but know that it's going to be okay. So I don't really think there's any other pros. I think it's pretty awesome.
When building the avatar, what are the strategies one should use to kind of effectively use the avatar for the purpose of what the avatar was built for?
Absolutely. Such a good question. So when I have a coaching program we do, and the part that people get stuck on is this right here, what you just said. When you have to stop and ask yourself, who am I? Who do I want to serve? What value do I want to offer? It starts to get really real, right? And you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because before you know it, you're like, oh, I don't know anything. I've been, home with kids for 20 years. Or, well, my skill sets in the corporate world won't translate to the business world or online. Yes, they will. Everybody has a story. Everybody has experience. You can draw from being at home raising babies to working in corporate America for 30 years. You can translate anything into service and to help other people. And you just have to say, what lights me up? What am I having fun? You might not even be an expert. You might be learning it. Could you learn something and turn around and teach your audience? That's what I did. I was like, hey guys, there's this cool thing called Facebook Lives. Because back then, it was just getting started, I didn't know what I was doing. And I told them, hey, I just learned this last week. Want me to show you? And they're like, yes. So I didn't know what I was doing. And because I kept showing up and I was real and genuine, people are really drawn to that. You just can't go wrong.
That is so true. So I've had the opportunity to follow you just a little bit, and I've seen that you've done some TEDx stuff and some other things. Is public speaking something that you enjoy doing, out getting out your brand, and a way, I guess, to be more personal with your audience? Do you feel like that's the better way to do it, or social media?
Oh, such a good question. And I think a lot of times too, people think they got to get on stages and make it big to be impactful. And it's just not true, right? So obviously we've had to pivot a little bit during the pandemic, and the TED talk that I did, the TEDx talk, it was virtual. But what was so cool when I thought about it is, and my talk was on reclaiming social media for good. Think about right now what we're able to do in this conversation, right? Like we're probably similar in age. We didn't grow up with podcasts. So like if I could have had a podcast in my ear when I was going through those troubled teenage years, I would be like Tony Robbins right now. So like the power of what we have to do through the power of social media and online is amazing. The benefit of speaking on stage and being in person, we've all been there. When you're in a conference and you're in a room with people, the energy it's electric. It's amazing. Also for me, I do that kind of stuff to challenge myself. Like that was on my dream board, my vision board is to do a TED talk. That's where that came from. And I do have obviously the mission to spread the word about social media. But I believe that everyone listening, if you're going, okay, how do I get started? Like, I don't have an Instagram following. I'm not on TikTok yet. I literally just had a brand new girl that I work with, brand new to TikTok. She's a student of mine, not on TikTok, did her first TikTok last week. She's 57, by the way, does her TikTok on her product, 20,000 views. Y'all, you can do this, right? If you want to do it,
Awesome.
you can totally figure it out. Yeah. So I personally like social media better because I feel like it levels the playing field and it lowers resistance for you to make up excuses and talk yourself out of things.
That is so true. Okay, I
Mhm.
have one question that I like to ask you, because it seems that you have this well balanced life with family and kids, and being an entrepreneur, and having a target audience and embracing and helping women. I know this has to be a challenge for you. So for women out there that are entrepreneurs and are family women, and they taking care of kids and they have husbands and things of that sort. Can you tell us a little bit about that balance in your life?
Yes, yeah, for sure. And I think because of the things that we're seeing on Instagram, I'm not trusting any of those moms that are like, oh, our kids are just perfect and the house is great and my marriage, we just go on dates every night. So I don't trust people like that. But what I wrote a book called Why Balance is BS, because I think it is BS. And I think what we're doing is we're setting ourselves up for failure. We're comparing ourselves to these people on social, and this is why, if you notice, content that's just a picture from your phone, if you post it on Facebook, the algorithm loves it. People want just off your phone, they want that real stuff, right? They don't want all of this like, branded perfect. That's not what a branding means. Branding is you, who you are in your voice. So for the moms out there and the dads, what I would say to you is, when you are thinking about the way your day is going, you just have to categorize things. I call it time blocking. Everyone has different things, but you're going to switch hats. So when your kids are home and they are grabbing you going, mom, mom, and you're on your phone, you know what I'm talking about. Remember, there's going to be a day when they don't say mom, mom, mom. They're going to be out of the house. They're going to be off, gone, and you're going to go, what the heck? And why are you doing this? And I catch myself, I'm a workaholic. So I have to put those boundaries in place. Like everyone knows, don't contact me between 3 and 9:30 p.m. 3 to 9:30, I'm family. I'm not even gonna look at my phone. We were outside playing like pretend charades because my kids are 5 and 6. Like the charades are super lame, but we were playing charades and I heard our neighbor. I've never heard in a year. The two sons were outside with the dad and he was playing some kind of game. He had his suit on, he was in the driveway and they were laughing. Like it gives me chills. The joy from these boys to be with their dad, like I'm sure it was just, maybe 15 minutes, but you could tell they were just like, dad's playing with us, it was so awesome. So even if it's that 15 minutes of put your phone on airplane mode, get away from you. Computers are down 15 minutes. You would be shocked at what that could do to fill up your cup and your kid's cup. But yeah, I just time block everything and I just pretend I'm putting my mom hat on, my wife hat on, my hat with my friends, and just making sure I'm hitting those different areas of my life.
That's awesome. That's a well-balanced life to have.
Mhm.
Awesome, awesome. So you've written many books. So tell us, drop a bomb on us on all the great stuff that you have been doing, and where can we find you?
Oh, thank you. So my biggest platform I'm on is Facebook. I have the business page is called The Goal Digger Girl, and it's GOAL. And I go live every single Monday at 1 o'clock Central. So if you're like, ooh, I want to catch your live, I do like a deep dive training, and I'm on every single platform. I'm on Instagram. I do Reels. I do TikToks, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube. I obviously, wherever you're hanging out. I'm there, so you can find me pretty much anywhere. And then you can go to Amazon and just type in Kimberly Olson, The Goal Digger, and it'll probably show that book and then the other books that I have in there too.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. So much fun.
All right, next IBS.